right, so let's jump in. Show of hands if you have your camera on, and that's not mandatory. Any breath workers out there? Anyone ever done breath work? You might not even know. I see a hand there. If you've ever been in yoga, you might have done some pranayama breathing. If someone's ever told you, hey, take a deep breath, and you did and it worked, you've done breath work. It is such a big world of it's such a big world. So it's not just, the Wim Hof method, which we'll talk about, or holotropic, or these more shamanic practices. It's any time where we shift our breath pattern and use it with the intention to calm ourselves down or to get into a different state of being. So chances are you have done breath work. So let's talk a little bit before we jump in about that breath work. And just like a lot of mindfulness practices, can bring up a lot of deep stuff, right? It can dislodge some traumas and things like that. So at any time, if you are feeling some sort of way and it's not where you want to go, you're going to release whatever active breath that we're doing and just return to your natural breath, right? You're the captain. So I'm not forcing anyone to go where they do not boldly want to go. Just remember, if you're feeling like your heart's starting to race or fear symptoms or something like that, take a step back, go back to your natural breath. You'll be good to go. My other two rules are have some self-compassion. Any MSC folks out there, mindful self-compassion folks, yes, treat yourself like a friend. I am not handing out awards, y'all. I'm not handing out trophies. So you, you don't have to go full on. Just have fun with it. That's number three. Stay curious, stay open. Yeah. So you're the captain. Return to the natural breath if you feel some sort of way. Have some self-compassion and stay curious. All right, so why are we even here? Why breathwork? Glad you asked. Breathwork is an incredible way to achieve a lot of things, but the biggest thing is breathing deeply. It turns on our inner calm button. And what I mean is, y'all know about the fight or flight response, right? The thing that if we're touching a hot stove or running from a cheetah, it's gonna get us into a state where we can react to try and save our lives. This is a good thing to have that fight or flight response. The issue now is we can't tell the difference between a cheetah, chasing us or a text message that made us feel bad or getting laid off. And so a lot of times this fight or flight response is just ticking away in the background. This really starts to wear us down, just like a motor that runs all the time. That's not a system that should be running all the time. So we need to kick on the complementary system. And the complementary system is called the parasympathetic nervous system. This is our rest and digest button. And the way that we turn on the rest and digest button, there's a few ways, but the best way is breathing deeply. And so that is a big reason to do breath work. Breath work turns on the parasympathetic nervous system. It massages our vagus nerve, our soul nerve. This is the nerve that kind of rules that parasympathetic nervous system. When that turns on, we are able to, well, digest our food, to detoxify our body. Our reproductive organs can work better. We take deeper breaths, we get more oxygen in our body, right? So this mental clarity and focus comes through. Breathing deeply, it reduces cortisol, so reduces our stress hormones in our body. Breathing deeply can provide a beautiful anchor for meditation, right? When we focus on our breath, this can be somewhere where we can work on our mindfulness practices. Breath work, it simply can just invite calm by telling our mind, you are safe, relax, rest. And because of that, it can also help with our sleep and things like that. So it does a whole host of things. And that's why we're here today. So I want to talk a little bit before we jump into actually doing some of these breathwork modalities, just offering some different types of breathwork that you might have heard of. So anyone heard of Wim Hof? The Iceman, right? I feel like this is the one we hear about. Wim Hof, Wimhof. He's this this guy that does like the ice baths and things like that. So the Wim Hof method, the theory is that if you put yourself in these, like they call it positive stress, right? If you put yourself in these positive stress things, like an ice bath, right? Anyone ever gotten an ice bath? It is stressful. But you breathe through it and you get into this very like beautiful, relaxing kind of trance state. And then their idea is that you go through enough of these positive stress moments that you start to like build a different relationship to stress, build up resilience to stress, and learn to manage stress in a lot of different ways because you've had practice in these like positive stress situations. And a lot of us do positive stress, right? That's what workouts are. That's what doing all the like things we don't want to do, but know will be better if we do them. That's form of positive stress. Anybody heard of pranayama breathing? Any yogis out there? Yep. That is pranayama breathing, an ancient breath technique that originates from yogic practices, Ayurvedic medicine, right? It's kind of the umbrella form for things like ujjayi breathing. If you've ever heard of that, or the ocean breath. That's where it's a breath that it's like when you're fogging up a window and you go, but you keep your mouth closed. So it's like I don't know if you could hear that, but back of your throat, that actually warms the body up, right? So you can get into your yogic poses and strengthen your diaphragm. Later in the class, we'll be doing alternate nostril breathing. So you hold one nostril closed and breathe in and out. And this helps build a bevy of concentration, builds our concentration muscles and kind of balances the hemispheres of the mind. Anybody heard of holotropic breathing? Yep. Okay, so holotropic breathing, this is kind of this other world of breath work, right? This world is more shamanic breathing. When I say shamanic, I mean kind of guides you into these altered states of consciousness. So, holotropic breathing is a breath pattern that catalyzes you into an altered state. And in these altered states, it's not unlike a psychedelic experience where you have access to deeper emotions, a lot of the subconscious, traumas and fears, things that are buried. If anyone's read Body Keeps a Score and books that talk about us storing our traumas and emotions within the body, it it bumps up against a lot of those and gives us opportunity to address a lot of the things within. These breath work modalities and the shamanic side of things are quite intense, right? So you're always gonna need a sitter. You don't want to do them when you're driving or swimming or anything like that. They're big journeys, big emotional, profound journeys, but certainly very triggering and confronting as well. So, yes, the holotropic breathwork was invented, I think the late 60s by Stanislav Grof and his wife Christina. It uses this quick breathwork in and out through the mouth. Now we're supposed to breathe in and out through the nose, but when you're doing these more shamanic breathworks, you overbreathe, right? You're kind of whipping yourself up into a state. And there's a few breathworks that do that where you overbreathe and kind of get into this euphoric place. So, holotropic breath is one of those. Maybe you've heard of conscious connected breath, where you're breathing in and out through the mouth, this one kind of continuous breath, kind of making sure your inhale and exhale, there's no pause to it, kind of lulling yourself into, again, this altered state of being. So, you know, breath work kind of runs the gamut, right? From just doing, some box breathing, which we'll do later, which is just really brings on these beautiful feelings of calm, to where you might explore the inner realms of your inner being. But that's a different workshop on a different day. So anybody want to try some breath workout? We'll try some modalities. Okay, cool. We're gonna be doing ones that are like safe to do online and not as contraindicated as some of these other ones where you're whipping yourself into these different states. So let's start with box breathing because my guess is some of y'all have tried it. Show of hands, some nods, box breathing. Okay, cool. So you're just like the Navy SEALs because they use box breathing as well to work on concentration, to bring on focus, right? So it's called box breathing because we're going to visualize a box. And on every side of the box is like it'll represent 4 seconds. So the top of the box, 4 seconds, the side of the box, 4 seconds, the bottom of the box, 4 seconds, and the side, 4 seconds. So what we'll be doing is we'll breathe in through our nose for 4 seconds. We're going to hold our breath for 4 seconds. We're going to breathe out for 4 seconds. And then we're going to hold our breath for 4 seconds. And it goes around again. Breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold. Now, what this does is it's a type of breath work because we don't normally breathe like that, right? Four and hold and four and hold. So we are consciously altering the way that we breathe, but it gives the mind a little job to do because we all know that we go in and out of all those distractions, right? I'm sure some of us are thinking of dinner plans and text to write later. So what it does is it gives the monkey mind a little job to do because it's going to track those 4 seconds around. So let's try out some box breathing. Find a comfortable seat, spine straight, but not, so erect that you're uncomfortable. We're going to float the eyes closed. Relax the muscles in the face. Let your jaw be loose. A little shoulder roll up and down the back might find nice space in the chest and help you to sit up a little straighter. And just begin to feel your breath come in and out of the body, not changing anything, just witnessing. All day we breathe without having to tell our body to. So in this moment, we can just show our gratitude with our attention and focus on the breath. Breath comes in, fills the belly lightly, fills the sides, fills the back. The breath leaves the nose, it all comes back in. On the next breath in, we'll start our box breathing. So we'll breathe in and out, and out. The next breath in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Last time. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Go back to your natural breath. I forgot to mention holding the breath for 4 seconds can be a lot. I'm not a person with a huge breath capacity, so should have let you know if 4 seconds is not what's right for your body, you can do that with 2 seconds, 3 seconds. It's really just giving your body and your mind this job to do while you breathe intentionally, right? And really focus on the breath. So that's box breathing, really good for building focus. Yeah. So we'll move right into 4-7-8 built breathing. So if your eyes are still closed, remember to relax the muscles in the face. 4-7-8 breathing, just like our box breathing, will kind of alter the breath. We'll breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, and breathe out for 8. Now, again, can be really tough to do. So the point is just to make your breath out longer than your breath in, and whatever that means for you. So you'll breathe in, you'll hold, and you'll breathe out for a little bit longer than you breathed in. So we'll use 4-7-8, but remember, you can shorten that. So monitoring your breath in and out, not manipulating it, not counting, just watching it come and go in through the nose, out through the nose. Every breath in, taking in oxygen. Every breath out, a release of carbon dioxide, things that don't serve. take our next breath in, next breath out, and we'll begin. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And back to your natural breath. We'll float the eyes open. So that 4-7-8 breath, that one's interesting. It helps with sleep. And the reason it does that is because we're breathing in all this oxygen, but we're releasing this carbon dioxide. So whenever you have a breath pattern where your out breath is longer than the in breath, that's going to really take you into these deeper, relaxing states. So if there's anyone that suffers from insomnia or just a night where you cannot get to sleep, when you're up in the middle 2 a.m. for no dang reason, 4-7-8 breathing. That one's really good for that, just to bring you into that deeper state. I can't really get through 10 of those before I am passed out again. So keep that one in mind. Keep that one in your back pocket. Whereas, box breathing, those shorter spurts that are more even and your breath in and breath out, that can be very energizing. So they call it coffee and whiskey breaths, but I don't know. One kind of can energize and one can kind of bring you into those deeper states. So yes. All right. So if you don't see me on the camera, check me out, because now we're going to get into alternate nostril breathing, and you'll need to see this hand position. So alternate nostril breathing, it's a type of pranayama breath, and so it has these yogic roots to it. It's used to improve concentration. Now, if this is too hard for your hands to do what I'm about to do, no, we have a alternate way to do it. So you start with your hand here. Your middle finger acts as like a kickstand right here, on your third eye, actually, between your eyebrows. And your ring finger is going to rest on one of your nostrils, and your thumb is going to rest on the other one. I think I have that right. Yeah, ring finger, thumb. Yep. Kickstand, ring finger, thumb. Ring finger on one nostril, thumb on the other. Okay. So as we do this, what we'll be doing is we'll be closing one nostril, and we'll be breathing in and out through that nostril. Then we're going to close the opposite nostril, and we're going to breathe in and out through that nostril, right? And we're going to go back and forth, alternate nostril breathing. If that is a lot, you can do this, right? But what this does is it's just like when we did, 4-7-8 breathing, it really does give your mind this job to kind of go back and forth and go out, build some hand dexterity. So try it. If it's too much, close one, close the other. All right, so let's try some alternate nostril breathing real quick here. We'll float the eyes close. Come into a seat with the spine straight. Relax the muscles in the face. Breath is coming in and out through the nose. Middle finger between the eyes. Ring finger on one nostril, thumb on the other. And begin either side, alternate nostril breathing, breathing in through the nose and out, and then alternating, closing one and then the other. Take one more each side, and then return to the natural breath. Beautiful. I'll float the eyes open. That one always gets me. That one always puts me right where I want to be. So a beautiful one. It can increase a concentration. I feel like I take these deeper breaths when I do that one. So you've got alternate nostril breathing in your wheelhouse. And if you do the more subtle one, you can use that wherever you go, right? I mean, you could do this, no judgment. But if you're on the bus, if you're in traffic, that one's beautiful. Not driving, right? Because a lot of these breathworks are best done not operating heavy machinery. Okay. I see this question here, and it's so perfectly timed. Thank you so much. Can we address belly breathing? That's what we are about to do it. Yes, traffic, not driving. Allison, thank you for that. Yes. Okay, so yeah, let's talk about belly breathing, right? Because that's what we hear. We hear that we're breathing up here and we're not supposed to do this thing. You know how kids breathe? It's so cute. But we're told to never, feel this come up and down and to feel our belly go in and out. And that's like half true. So let's talk about diaphragmatic breathing. And then this is going to move us into our breath meditation uh, portion because we'll be doing some diaphragmatic breathing. Okay, so the diaphragm. It's this muscle under the lungs shaped like an umbrella. And when we breathe in, it presses down, right, on our organs. And that's why our belly expands. Okay. And then when we breathe out, it goes up and everything comes back in. It's like a syringe. I have this bike pump, and I don't know if you can see it, but like a pump. So, like, the little stopper thing is here. When we breathe in, the diaphragm comes down. It presses down our organs. It opens our rib cage. Now check it. It doesn't just press your belly out. And that's why belly breathing can be confusing. It opens your back. It opens to the side. It opens in 360 degrees. Now, you might not feel it because a lot of us have tight back muscles and tight ribs and tight side muscles. But truly, it's opening you up like a brown paper bag, like a ball in 360 degrees. It's more pronounced in our bellies because there's a lot of space there, right? And it can open up there. So yeah. So when we breathe in, diaphragm goes down, organs go down, body expands. Get this, your pelvic floor, your pelvis, that opens up too and receives breath. So the deeper we can breathe, it gets down in there and it sends in fresh oxygen. It creates space. It massages our organs. It lights up that vagus nerve. And it's just, ooh, the most nourishing vitamin you can take as a deep breath. Yes. So we don't, this will move a little bit, but what won't happen is your shoulders aren't going to go up and down, right? A lot of us that breathe up here, we're like lifting our rib cage to kind of like do that. The diaphragm doesn't need you to do that. So shoulders stay here. We expand and you can kind of put your hands on your lower ribs here. You'll feel that it go out to the side as you breathe in. So let's try that. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Now it's not a huge movement, right? You don't need to, yeah, we're not doing that. You can just feel it go out to the sides. Keep going. You'll start to feel it. Shoulders aren't going anywhere. Can you feel your back go out just a little bit and expand to the back? If you can't feel it, it's happening, but just might not have that full range of motion, right? Okay, and when we're in our breath meditation, as we start to do it in the meditative space, you might feel that, right? Because you'll begin to be able to breathe deeper and deeper. You might even feel that pelvic bowl really start to get all that juiciness in there as well. So it is the perfect time to move into a deep breath meditation. Our anchor today will be our breath. We are going to focus on our breath. Now, right before we jump in, I like to explain meditation in 4 little steps because I think a lot of us come into the meditation space thinking it's going to instantly calm us down. And a lot of times it is kind of the opposite, right? Anyone else feel that way where it's like every thought that could be thought floods in? So I like to prepare for that possibility to happen. Step one will be focused on our breath. It's beautiful. We're meditating, we're present, because when you're focused on your breath, you're present. Guess what step two is, my friends? Step two, you will be distracted. I like to build it in so that it's not a huge surprise and it's not such a big deal, right? We don't beat ourselves up. It was always going to happen. Step three is, ooh, that's the interesting part because we have a why in the road. There will come a time in your distraction where you realize, oh, I'm in a breath meditation. And you'll have the choice to come back to your breath, that's step four, or continue to float away with your thoughts. And I know we don't always take that invitation to come back, but as best you can, when you feel the why in the road at step three, flex that focus muscle, come back to your breath, right? Step one, you're breathing. Step two, you're going to get distracted. Step three, a why in the road. Step four, flex that focus muscle, come back to the breath. Every time we come back to the breath, that's the meat. We create a little more space. We create a little more ability to be present. We create a little more calm and space, right? All right, so we're going to go on this meditation merry-go-round for pretty much going to bring us close to the end of class. So we've got about 10, 15 minutes here in this breath meditation where you'll be focusing on your breath. Remember, opening the body 360 degrees and you're visualizing it. Maybe you don't feel it, but it's happening. Sending our breath deeper and deeper into the body. We'll end with some stretches and I'll have you on your way on this gorgeous Pacific Northwest Tuesday. All right, so find that comfortable seat. Feel your bum on the seat. Didn't mention this, but you might also choose to lay down. We float the eyes closed. Relax the beautiful muscles in your face. Let your jaw go loose. Whew. A beautiful shoulder roll up and down the back. We find space in the ribs, space in the chest. Might settle in there with a stretch of the neck, loosening up. Begin to engage with the breath in and out through the nose. Hello, breath. As you breathe in through the nose, your body expands a little to the back, a little to the sides, a little to the front. It fills the belly, it fills the pelvic bowl. As you breathe in, it all comes back home. Maybe even there's just this slight little engagement of your abdominal muscles as it comes back home. Your breath in is like taking a vitamin, being nourished. Your breath out is this sacred release, a release of carbon dioxide, a release of things that don't serve you. Your breath is like an ocean wave. You can see that wave in the distance coming to shore as you breathe in. It's building, it's building, it's growing, it's filling the beach. And as that wave begins to crest, that's our breath out. This wave now crawls towards the beach as we breathe out that last sizzle and hiss on the sand, and then another wave begins. I invite you to play with your breath pattern a little bit. So we'll breathe in through our nostrils and then try breathing out with pursed lips. See if you can make that exhale longer than your inhale. At the end of that pursed breath out, or even a nostril breath out, see if you can bring your, like kind of hug yourself with your abdominal muscles and get the last, bits of stale air out. We'll take one more pursed breath out and then come back to that natural breath in and out through the nose. Let your breath be this sort of ancient lullaby. Certainly, it's this mirror, this expansion and contraction that our heart does, that life does. On your next breath out, we'll tilt the head to one side. Doesn't matter which one. No struggle, no strain. Stop where it feels good. And begin to take your breath and breathe, out through the side of that deep stretch on one side. Every breath in, nourishment. Every breath, a release of tension, a release of weight. And then slowly and luxuriously switch to the other side, tilting head now to the other side, engaging with the deep stretch. Send your breath, expand that area and let it contract, pumping it, nourishing and releasing. Slowly tilt the head forward. Now engaging with this stretch across the back of the neck, the back, maybe even lower. And we expand our back, nourishing it. As we breathe out through the nose, we release sometimes the weight of the world that we hold here. Breathing in love, breathing in care, breathing in compassion. Releasing the old, releasing the stale. And slowly, we tilt the head backwards, stopping where we don't feel a struggle or strain because we don't do this often. Oh, and now there's quite a vulnerable stretch along the front of our neck, along our chest, and we breathe into the space. Light. We breathe out again, things that just we don't need anymore. Don't even need to name them. They are able to be released. And we bring head back to center. Now let's play a little bit. See if you can send the breath kind of consciously into your feet, spreading your toes wide. If your setup allows, maybe letting your ankles kind of roll them out, getting that snap, crackle, pop. Feeling a deep stretch along the bottom of the feet as best you can. And we breathe into the soles of our feet, expanding them, expanding them. As we breathe out, they come back home. Thank you, feet. We'll do the same with our hands, now bringing our consciousness and focus to our hands, stretching our fingers wide, feeling just the most delicious stretch on our palms, maybe winding out our wrists, feeling deep stretches along our arms as we bring our hands a bunch of different ways and stretch our fingers. And then we breathe into our hands, expanding, expanding. Breath out that beautiful release. Slowly and luxuriously, we can twist our top half to one side. And again, no struggle, no strain, using the chair or table to assist if needed. And we breathe into the stretched side. Woo. Every breath in, thoughts of compassion, nourishment, and love. Every breath out, freedom, release. A grateful goodbye. And we come to the other side. Slowly and luxuriously, make a meal out of it. We breathe into that stretch, expanding and releasing. And we come back to center. We find our breath in and out through the nose, belly filling, body expanding all directions, present with our breath, fresh, compassionate oxygen coming through our lungs and into every nook and cranny. In our last few moments here together in our meditation, I'd love to, on our breath out, hum. We'll do that a few times. Humming is another way to massage the vagus nerve. It rattles our vagus nerve. It's like a baby rattle. So we'll breathe in and out. Then we'll breathe in, and on our breath out, hum or vocalize. Let's try it again. Breath in. Let's have a few more of those. Last one. And we go back to our natural breath, in and out through the nose. We'll end our meditation with 3 ohms. Feel free to use your vocals out loud, or you can do them internally. And what's so beautiful is that Om, which is the sound of, the universe of consciousness, if you think about us breathing, the breath is an Om. The ah sound we make it deep in our belly where we've been expanding. The ooh sound we make in our chest where we fill our lungs and our throat here. And then the which rattles in our mouth and up towards and above our heads. Aum. Every breath has been one. So we'll breathe in and out. And join in when you feel ready. Oh. 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 Take your last few sweet breaths, eyes closed, in and out through the nose. Filling the front, filling the sides, filling your back, filling your pelvic bowl and your beautiful bellies. An internal thank you breath, because we're going to go about our day and our body will still be breathing us without us even having to work for it. Float the eyes open. Lovely. Should have done this right before bedtime, right? We've got a couple more minutes. Would love to take any questions, comments, concerns that y'all might have before we end. My name again is Heather, and I love geeking out about breathwork. So if you have any further questions that like pop up, you can find me on the Facebook, you can find me on the Instagram, you can find me on the email, you can call and text me if you want to, and feel free to engage. The methods that we learned here today are, easily findable online, but truly just like taking intentional deep breaths in and out, whether it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 4, 4, 4, whatever, will is your ally, right? It's your birthright, and it's it's free and it's internal, and you have it wherever you go. So remember, it's this kind of ace in the hole that you can use at any time. Do you have any advice for deepening my inhale? Of course, it's practice doing it, right? Start at 3. That's beautiful, right? And then as you breathe in and out, try for 4. It takes time over time, but you do develop kind of this ability to strengthen your diaphragm, strengthen your breathing muscles. When I get massages, I'll talk to my body worker that helps me relax these muscles around my lungs, right? And relax the muscles around my back so that I do have this capacity and a little more juiciness there. I like to take yoga because Pilates kind of helps you work with your breath a little more. So yeah, it takes practice. We don't learn about breath work in class, so it's this very important thing that we do. So yeah, a little bit of practice. It's beautiful to start where you're at, and then you build from there, right? Gotta start somewhere. Just, I know a lot of us are meditators, but remember when you couldn't go for a half a second without saying present? Well, yeah, and then it builds over time. And you have your bad days too. So, yeah. Um, Hey, got some tension release. Beautiful. Yeah, it does that because a lot of us don't realize that that fight or flight is on and we're ready to, you know, wrestle a tiger. Well, this deep breathing, it's like tells your body like, hey, you're good. Like, you can release. Yeah. Yep. Totally. Sound bowls. Yes, I think I want to do them in person. I don't, we're all in so far different areas. I am going to figure out how to offer it online. Until then, like I said, you can find me on that Seattle waterfront. And if there's people doing sound bowls around you, jump in. Those vibrations, it's another way to massage your vagus nerve, the vibrations. So, yeah, and you can pair it with deep breathing and imagine how that, right, explodes there. So, thank you all. Thank you so much. This has been a beautiful session. Thank you for your energy. I got to race